best of 5, so first person to 3 wins. So it's basically a best of 3 at this point, since both these players are 1-1 apiece. But very interesting choice to go Daybreak. Alicia feels very comfortable. You know, I actually feel very comfortable on this map. I like it PvZ. I love it PvZ. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dare I say it. All because of Todd's build. Todd's excellent. Just follow him on Twitter.
I think Todd's watching, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, follow him on Twitter.
You can tell Todd all about how much you love his build.
Root Todd, ROOTOD. Check him out on Twitter. He actually comes out with these instructional videos of Protoss, for Protoss. And he has one for Daybreak where you go avoid ray expand. At 7 minutes, you're actually expanding. One of the most powerful builds, I think, in existence that actually applies pressure to your opponent, forces them to react to something, and you pretty much get your expansion up safely. And behind that, you can do a World of Hurt. There are 14-minute pushes that you can do. You can go Colossus, High Templars, whatever you want. But definitely one of the most powerful builds, I think, in existence. We'll see if that happens with Alicia. Still, Alicia going for the 17 Nexus, which is absolutely standard on this map. It's such a big map. You have to be economically greedy.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
He is going for a Forge. I guess he wasn't comfortable by the timing of the pool he saw from his opponent.
That's really weird. No, he wants to place this pylon. That's why.
Oh. Okay. Well,
still, I'm not a huge fan of this Frodan.
Well, Nexus, it's stylistic. It does scale back your ability to be greedy here and there, but Vibe's just doing whatever Zerg does nowadays, and just don't even worry too much about your natural. You know, the third is where you want to focus anyways. The 2 base Immortal Push, 2 base 7 gate, whatever you want. Focus on the third anyways. So the quicker hatchery there might help.
Little suspicion right here. I'm not sure if Alicia actually scouted out the drone that went over to the 3rd base, but as we can see, no, he didn't, because a photon cannon is going up here. If he knew that the 3rd base was starting up right now, he wouldn't get the photon cannon. He would get the gateway and double assimilator before even throwing down a photon cannon. Having the probe here actually helps out to see any Zerglings over. If he sees Zerglings anywhere on the map, he just puts down a gateway here and then another gateway or a cybernetics core, and then throws down the photon cannon. You're absolutely fine against any sort of early game aggression. So it looks like Alicia just didn't know what was going on in this early game stage. Vibe's going to take a small, tiny little advantage from that.
Yep. And well, I mean, Vibe won't be able to run away too far. It's just like you said, Andre. It's a very minimal advantage, if anything at all. Alicia. Yeah, it depends whether or not Alicia wants to play like a 3-base style. You know, if he wants to go Stargate, go for Phoenixes, harass, go for a Robo, and get a 3rd base. We've been seeing Protoss do that quite often and transition to a huge 3-base attack. I know Creator Prime likes doing that style, and I usually like to see Creators build because it's usually a really cool push at a very interesting timing. SK Telecom's Rain is usually another Protoss I like watching in that regard to a big 3-base push. But he didn't perform that well in GSL last night either. I don't want to spoil it, though, for anyone that didn't watch it. That said, I feel like Alicia still hasn't really found his true style yet in Protoss versus Zerg. We just saw 2 very different forms. We saw Alicia that kind of, well, he stayed on 2 base in game number 1. And he did stay on 2 base for game number 2. But there is the moments where Alicia goes for 3 base, and I feel like there's nothing where I feel like Alicia is exceptional in this matchup, you know? Yeah,
PvZ. I don't think he's...
But he does have good control overall.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he has, he's solid macro, pretty good decisions. It's just, I don't know necessarily what he does better than everyone else.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he actually has, the most pristine PvZ builds or something to really look forward to. Very interesting. He goes 3 assimilators. Normally when you see 3 assimilators, you're not actually thinking Robotech. You're thinking something like Twilight Council or even Stargate tech. But more so Twilight Council, like Blink play, because you need those minerals to actually get enough Stalkers, or even Dark Templars. You know, you're trying to scathe the edge, get the bare minimum amount of gas to actually apply pressure while taking your 3rd base, stuff like that. But the Robo is a little bit weird. So what do you need 3 gases for the Robo? Now, it could be something like an Immortal All-In, but Immortal All-Ins, I feel like, are suboptimal on a map like Daybreak.
Yeah, it's too long, it's too windy. You can't really get a good proxy pylon spot on top of your War Prism. It's a little bit tough to kind of move from the third into the natural also.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And normally you get your 2 gases at 6:30. He actually only got 1 gas at, I think, 5:45 to 6 minutes, around there. You need all that gas to actually supplement the sentries, and after sentries, you get a couple zealots, but mostly stalkers. Now he has far less sentries right out of the get-go, which actually means a lot more just because those sentries need to build up a lot of energy. On top of that, he won't be able to get enough stalkers, or I shouldn't say get enough, but he won't be able to get as many stalkers. I feel like this is an Immortal all-in for sure, but it's not as refined as, let's say, I don't know, someone like Parting.
Yeah.
I know Parting's not really known for his Immortal all-ins, but that's definitely a little bit more refined than this one.
Vibe also has been playing this pretty... he's been skimping on a lot of stuff. Like, he did delay his Roach Warren until the 8.5-minute mark.
Yeah.
That's pretty late. But he can afford to because he does have scouting on his opponent, knows he's not moving out anytime soon. In fact, Vibe hasn't even controlled watchtowers until around now. Nice pick-off on the probe. He's going to scout and be able to deny any expansion. And now Vibe has basically survived enough of the early game. Now he has to kind of worry about any kind of 2-base attack because he should be wary. There's no third base. He's going to move over there and say, okay, no quick third. He has to go for some kind of 2-base push.
Yeah, it has to be an all-in.
It has to be.
He already saw the robo. He knows it's going to be like that 9:30 push-out. Now, this is supposed to come at 9:30. It's coming 20, 30 seconds later. This is actually really, really
the
difficult.
flank from behind also. Zerglings. Oh, no, they're not. They're going for a counterattack.
Counterattacks with Zerglings won't work nearly as effectively. Zealots can tank a lot of damage. And, of course, sentries being there can block off a lot. Cannons two-shot everything, so I don't think that's the best way to actually do it. The Roach Warren is completing. Gleal Reconstitution just about to finish. I feel like Vibe should be able to manhandle this very easily. Look, yeah, the creep is beautiful. If Vibe doesn't, if Vibe doesn't hold this off, he's misplaying it heavily. This is actually going to cost him.
Whoa. Don't lose too many roaches, though. Has to be very cautious.
I mean, even Alicia messed up a little bit by going Zealots for a warp, and you actually want to get Stalkers. Nice surround on all the units. And Vibe will crush this. Killing all the sentries is actually so important. The Guardian Shield gets popped.
No,
the Immortals are going down.
The Immortals don't even get picked up. Wow, one of them gets picked up, but they're so weak. And Alicia completely bobbled this attack. But it was partially because Vibe was able to really catch him off guard, which is non-stop swarming other units. A couple roaches did get caught in positions, but Vibe was able to move out. And now the push has stopped. Vibe is going to go up 2-1 over his opponent, unless Alicia can kind of salvage another push. But Vibe just saved so much, he didn't lose a single drone.
Infestation Pit is already up as well. He doesn't have Pathogen Glance, but that was a beautiful attack. Why did he go Zealots? Everybody is like, Alicia, that was such a silly move, but he saw only Zerglings, and so many in that early game stage. He's thinking, oh, my opponent isn't going Roaches at all. But Vibe very smartly used the Roaches as a backup plan in case he was against that. If it was something different, he could have just canceled Gleal Reconstitution, said, okay, you're going a third base, no problem. Cancel Gleal Reconstitution, get my Pathogen Glance, I already got the Infestation Pit, and just play it absolutely standard. Get all of your gas focused on those Infestors, which are just so effective. Now he's going to take out the Cybernetics Core. Absolutely beautiful play. I mean, Vibe can literally waste so much in this game knowing that he's just so ridiculously far ahead. Robotics Bay is being, Colossus is being started pretty soon here, but Vibe just has way too much macro, he has way too much tech, he has way too much everything. He's so far ahead in this game, Frodan.
I really like the expansion in the bottom right. Even though, yes, everyone does turtle through the center, I think the bottom right is really nice to just kind of force Protoss in an awkward position if he wants to really attack again, which he can't. And Vibe can continue to put on pressure. No third base attempt also because Vibe has a Zergling ready to spot in case Alicia ever did. But he's going to get Colossus. Now, we normally see some Protosses one-up their attack by getting more Immortals and just going for it again. We saw this with Finale versus the Maga earlier this season.
Yeah.
But that's not the case because you can't really do that because, well, Vibe has an Infestation Pit out. And if you just go for Gateway Immortal again, you're going to get caught, you're going to get surrounded, and you're going to lose everything.
Frodan, I really feel like Colossus will win the game probably 5% of the time after this. Immortals are really the best way to go from here. The reason why I say that is Colossus are just they take so long. You need like 3 of them for them to be actually effective. And by that time, Vibe will be maxed. He has a ton of infested Terrans, and he's still going to overwhelm his opponent as, you know, maybe Alicia pushes out with, I want to say 140, 150 supply, maybe. I mean, that would be nice. He's actually going to take the 3rd base. Vibe's just going to max out here and be like, okay, well, I'm going to pressure this. Your 3rd's going to die, and that's going to starve you. And because we trade at your 3rd base, you actually have no counterattack option. So this is like 100% of the time a losing line, in my opinion. I mean, this trade is going to be beautiful. 111 to 191 supply. 3rd base will be canceled pretty soon here. Nice force fields, though.
Yeah, force field's locked down. A lot of units. Infestors can't really do anything. Maybe drop infested Terrans, but...
Yep. That's perfect, man.
Well, there's enough Colossus here to clean up everything if you get into a good position. To clean up the infested Terrans, I mean, but how's he going to deal with the Roaches? Infested Terrans are focusing down not really anything. They're not focusing down the Colossus, and they're still able to get lots of damage. My goodness. I think Alicia held this very nicely.
Really respectable force fields, I have to say. That enabled him so much. That's probably parting style force fields, if I have to say so myself. Vibe going to go ahead and take a 4th in the more conventional place. Alicia's going to try to do this counterattack, but you're going to... I might eat my words, but you're going to see this get shut down pretty hard here. Corruptor's already on the way out. Greater Spire on the way.
I'm not sure, Andre. I think this is still pretty strong. Oh, the only thing is that he doesn't have Blink. Alicia doesn't have Blink. He only has +2. He doesn't really have anything else going besides that. There's not a lot of Sentry energy, but... he's just got raw power, and it's not like Vibe is overwhelming in his unit count either. His army supply is deceivingly low. He only has about 100, even though he's up 40 supply. He's only got 10 more army supply, and there's more warpits coming in from Alicia, and he needs to hold at least another base. Alicia is going to expand to his own, or actually no, his 3rd base got forces to cancel. So this is it. This is like the 17.5 minute 2 base all in. Elfie.
And Corruptor's going to flank these Colossus. Beautifully done.
It's
going to be enough. Oh, the force fields are good, Frodan.
That's covering him so that the Zerglings can't do anything. The Colossus have served their purpose, I feel.
Oh
There's
my
no blink,
gosh.
though. The Stalkers need to blink over. But there is no blink.
There's not a lot of units either. 42 Zerglings, though. Will this be enough to clean up everything? Frodan, I have to think yes, because the War Prism also gets taken out, but it's really hard to actually determine here.
The Zerglings are coming in. The Infestors from Vibe, they don't have enough energy to do anything. This is Vibe's big stand at the 3rd base. The Stalkers aren't even kiting. They're not even moving back. There's just so many of them, it doesn't even matter. Alicia is pushing into the 3rd base. More units are coming in. Vibe knows his opponent doesn't have Blink. He would have used it by now, so these 5 Brewers morphing will be able to salvage something, but Vibe is going to lose his 3rd base. He's going to lose. The 3rd base goes down.
Well, there you go, Frodan. I ate my words, and I'll eat them unkindly. Really, really weird game that we're seeing here. I feel like Vibe is
pulling all of his drones to chase the units. The Stalkers can't even really escape.
He has to. I mean, he has to punish his opponent for not having Blink. But, of course, Blink is just about to finish now. Infestors moving out into the field. Vibe, what are you doing? I mean, this is not a position where you should really be aggressive, but he sees... No, he doesn't even see. The 3rd base hasn't been taken yet. Alicia just about 1 base economy. I mean, it's not that much.
Doesn't really have anything. He's got Stalkers, a few Zealots, and a couple Sentries with 1 Immortal. This is such a mid-game centric composition, as if this is the 12-minute mark, not even the 20-minute mark. A big blink though, trying to pick it off. The Spoolers trying to kite as much as they can. The Infestors are not there to fungal, but the Zerglings are coming there to buy time. 2 Brewlords remain, but more Fungals are coming in. The Infestors need to do something to stall for time. There's 1 Brewlord. The last few Stalkers are targeting down as fast as they can. Oh, just never got. There's another Brewlord as well. That hasn't been targeted, but another blink. And Alicia will be able to clean up the rest. More Infestors arrive to this team. The Infested Terrans are done hatching. The Stalkers will live. 3 Stalkers left. And Vibe won't be able to set up both of these hatcheries at the same time. The Infestors are running away from the Zealots. More units are coming in, and Vibe will end up stabilizing again, but Alicia is... he's still keeping up the pressure. He's got Stalkers coming in.
Vibe! Big blink on top of the Infestors. 1 Infestor goes down. Every single unit matters. Vibe is throwing, man. He's definitely throwing pretty hard here.
Lock him down! And he does. Alicia does lose some of the Stalkers here. Another Fungal. Alicia trying to target down.
and a couple of Stalkers do drop. Vibe's supply is still much higher. It's
Almost
because he's got a
double.
lot of drones still compared to his opponent.
Yeah, which does mean a lot more economy. You can see it's about 50% more. This third base is pretty undefended. You can see this. This is so scrappy, Frodan. I mean, this little pack of Zerglings actually doing damage to the economy of Alicia. When it's all said and done, Vibe is still pretty far ahead. Oh my gosh, what is going on, Frodan? This is crazy. This is madness. I can't believe Vibe has made it this close. I mean, after being so far ahead from the beginning stages, I definitely thought for sure it's an unlosable situation. But Vibe opening himself up so much, I thought he could be a lot more, I don't know, a lot more cost efficient at the third base. I think Alicia actually did a beautiful job with those force fields to really give him the chance to counterattack like that. I don't know what's going on with this game, Frodan, to be completely honest. I still feel like Vibe is monstrously ahead, especially with all the infestors that are out. The ability to tech up to Broodlords pretty easily since all the infrastructure is there. But Vibe still needs to be careful. He still doesn't have Burrow, by the way. That's like no bueno.
Vibe can still do this correctly if he fungles everything down, lock infested Terrans. There's not too much AoE. The Colossus and Archons do provide kind of a threat to the Zerglings, as well as the infested Terrans. Vibe realizes, though, that the composition from Alicia is not good against Broodlords, so he can still make those units and get himself back into a very strong fighting army. Alicia is starting to run really dry at the natural. He's only on 44 pros, but his economy is, I guess, fully saturated considering what he has. He doesn't necessarily has much punching power. He's trying to warp in whatever he can. And he does have more Stalkers coming because I guess he can't really fight against Broodlords. And Vibe doing the smart thing. He's putting up Spine Crawlers, realizing he's the one who has the advantage. His opponent has to attack into him. He's got 2 base. His opponent's got 1.
Yes, sir. And I have to agree with you. I love what he's doing here. Finally deciding to settle down a little bit. He knew he had the advantage earlier on. That's the only reason why you would attack a third base. I like the decision to actually incorporate roaches into this composition. I think that's very clever because roaches are actually super powerful if you don't have any immortals or sentries. The sentry count
massive
is pretty small.
fungal on the Zealots.
Wow.
And Bill delays all of them. In fact, the Archon's tanking the damage. The Zealot should be the one tanking it. Force fields to pop in. Vibe just needs to lock down the rest of these units. Alicia's still trying to push in. This is his big attack. If this attack is crushed, Alicia's got nothing. But the infestors are not being used. Vibe is backing off into a corner. He's waiting for his Broodlords. His Broodlords need to come and engage. He traps some of the Archons. The Stalkers are blinking forward, but the Infestors are locking them down. No more anti-air. Alicia supply now below 100. Vibe making this one close, but I think he's got it. The Infested Terrans clean up the rest of the thing. Only Colossus really remains. A few of the units, and the supply counts for Vibe is double of that of his opponent. Vibe is pushing in. The last few straggling Protoss units are eradicated from Daybreak. Alicia is retreating, but he's got nothing to defend. He's got a few Hard Templars for Archons. He's got a couple of Stalkers, but this third base is wide open. And with that, the chances for Vibe to take this game and move up in the series. The Archons are dying just as soon as they arrive to the battlefield. And Alicia, he's calculating the last few seconds, realizing he had a chance. He had one moment, but it's not enough. GG! Game number 3 goes to Vibe. And he is up 2-1 over his opponent, 1 step away from advancing to the round of 16.
Very scrappy game from both of those players. You know, it kept seesawing. Vibe was at an advantage, and then Alicia had a little bit of a chance, and he made the best of his opportunity. Took out the fourth base, took out the natural, or excuse me, took out the fourth base, took out the third base, and it looked like he was starting to stabilize, but then Vibe was asserting himself, then Alicia was asserting himself, and when it came down to it, Vibe did end up just having the advantage. I have to say, just having the patience at that end stage to just fungal, wait until those Broodlers pop up, and then actually engage. I think that was a clever decision. He might have been able to actually overwhelm his opponent if he just had all of his Zerglings and Roaches at that same area at the fourth base, just concentrating, killing everything, but he was just trying to be super safe. Wait until those Broodlords are out, then the Colossus, you know, have to deal with those Broodlings rather than focusing all of the damage on the Zerglings.
Great job by Vibe. Great decision making. I love the idea of stacking bases, realizing his opponent's on 2 base, able to play a very good patience game, showing great restraint throughout the entire process, and as a result jumps up to a lead 2-1, where Alicia, his tournament life is on the line. Maybe we might not see the runner-up in the playoffs at all. We'll find out right after this. Let's thank our sponsor, iBuyPower, who's running a bunch of deals all the time on pre-assembled PCs. Check them out at ibuypower.com. When we come back, game number 4 between Vibe and Alicia. We'll find out if Vibe can close it out 3-1, or Alicia tie it up and send it to the ace match right after this.